David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only Apollonia Kotero.
Hi there. How are you?
What's going on? How are you? How's your
Oh,
day?
oh, my day is nice and peaceful. Had a great holiday, and I'm actually excited just to be here with you today.
Well, listen, I am so excited to have you here as well. Listen, we all know Purple Rain 1984. Like I get it, but when I sat down to prepare for this and just really focus, I'm like, "Oh my God, like that's almost 40 years ago." Like, does
I know.
that feel like 40 years to you?
Sometimes it feels like 400 years, and sometimes it feels like it was just 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I know, you were in the business before, like you had appeared on like Fantasy Island and like Knight Rider and done some acting, but how did you come to audition for this movie?
Through the drama log, we had a magazine here in Hollywood that I would subscribe to for auditions. So I auditioned through the drama log. I had someone call on my behalf, a friend, pretending to be my manager. I needed to be, have a manager and all that stuff. So that's how I found out.
Wow. And like what was your thoughts? Like, I mean, obviously this was right after like 1999 and like, that was a big thing for Prince. I mean, like obviously you had heard of Prince. Like, were you a Prince fan at this time?
Absolutely. I had purchased the 1999 album. I had moved away from San Pedro, California to West Hollywood, California to be closer to the industry and auditions. And I bought that cassette and I would listen to it in my car driving around Hollywood, fantasizing about one day having my own cassette in my car, listening to my own music.
So what was like, were you aware, like when you auditioned, like, were you aware like of the history, like that first it was supposed to be Vanity and then like Jennifer Beals was, attached and turned it down. Like, were you aware of like the fact that this role was like,
That's the Jennifer Beals story is just a fabrication of Hollywood. She was never offered the role. It's just that Hollywood mystique stories, and Gina Gershon also wanted to play the role, and I knew about Vanity because I was a big fan of hers, and I collected the Rolling Stone with Prince and Vanity on the cover, so I had a bit of knowledge of their history.
and the whole Jennifer Beals thing, like that never was it. That's just like a fabrication of,
Yeah, and there was
wow.
other celebrity girls that were named and all that, but the only girl that I saw was Nia Peebles at the auditions.
Wow. So what was this process like? I mean, do you show up? Is it like a cattle call? Like how long is the process? Like, are there multiple rounds?
There were multiple rounds. Everything took place within 7 days. I auditioned here in Hollywood. The funny thing is that the casting office where I auditioned isn't too far from where I live today. And I drive by or walk by and I look, and it's just, nostalgic. So I auditioned, and within 7 days, they had me fly to Minnesota to meet with Prince. And I knew that that was like the audition. He took me out dancing, and we went to First Avenue. And that evening, Vanity was there. So it was like a movie within a movie.
Wow.
It
So
was
I mean,
crazy.
you're being flown to like Minneapolis. I mean, are you nervous? Are you excited? Like, what's the range of emotions when one is about to go meet Prince for the first
I
time?
was excited. I remember calling everyone that I knew, like all four people, from my apartment in West Hollywood, which was unfurnished at the time. Couldn't afford furniture, but I was cool with it, because I was in Hollywood already. And I got ready and left. I was excited. I knew that this was going to change my life because I knew the potential of what this movie had available. I knew, that Prince was becoming a star. And I had this initial feeling, it was just, in my gut, that I knew that something major was going to happen with this. I couldn't explain it. I mean, I was just, what, 23, 24.
You did know that because, like it was turned down by, the rumor is, I mean, I don't know if that was true, like a lot of studios didn't want it. They're like, what
Right,
is
that's true.
this?
James Brown's company, I think it was a production company, and a lot of people turned it down. They didn't believe in the concept or him, or maybe they thought it was too radical, too ahead of its time.
But you just had a feeling like this could be the one that changes everything.
I knew that once we started filming. I remember telling Prince, "You need to buy an Oscar outfit because we're going to be at the Oscars." I said, not for your acting abilities, but for your music."
That's what you said, or that's what like someone on the movie said?
That's what I said to him.
Wow.
He looked at me and he says, "You think so?" And I said, "Yes, I know so." So
Wow.
it was just, I don't know. It was something different. I've never felt that way in any other production, TV shows or films that I'd done before or since. It
So
was different.
what is that first meeting like? Like when you're dancing at First Avenue, like, is it just like, can you hang with Prince? Was it like, a formal audition? Were you like, I'm still auditioning for a part? Like, what was that like?
Well, the audition actually started with lunch. They, picked me up from my hotel, and we went for lunch and went for a drive through the country, which was really fascinating to me because I'm a city girl. And we went to his favorite restaurant where he had spaghetti, and he was just checking me out. I could see he was, looking at me through his peripheral and watching. I was doing all the talking. He was very shy, and I was doing all the talking because I was nervous. And when I'm nervous, I, get chatty. But it was simple. It was easy. And then they dropped me off at, when I say they, his bodyguard chick was a driver. They dropped me off at my hotel. And then chick comes back and says, we're going to pick you up later and take you out. So I get ready for, an evening of dining and dancing at First Avenue.
What were your first impressions of Prince? I mean, like you had the CD in your car, you were thinking one day you want your own CD, but when you first meet Prince, like what goes through your mind?
Well, he smelled great. He smelled like purple, if that makes any sense. He was as cute as a button, really cute, beautiful eyes, and extremely shy, super shy. I could just tell it was almost like he was terrified of just meeting me. Not that, I had a reason to give him to be scared, but I think he was just there was so much commotion going on behind the scenes that he really needed to find his leading lady. I think he was just nervous, you know, but again, he was very shy.
Could you tell like, okay, like I'm going home now, I got the part, this went well, like what was your, like they say sometimes like as an